Alright, so I'm currently in the process of selling off sneakers in my personal collection that at this point, they just aren't comfortable. Maybe they're nice shoes, but I simply can't wear them for longer than an hour or two before my feet are hurting. So I broke my tibia and fibula when I was in high school, and so it's hindered my ability to wear certain shoes for long periods of time. So shoes that just aren't comfortable, I'm kind of looking at them, reevaluating, and then selling them off. So this is a pair of Jordan 4 Black Cats, a pretty popular shoe. I actually thrifted these in Oregon from the Goodwill bins about 3 years ago, so I only paid like $3 for these, and I think I showcased them in one of the videos when I found them that day. But anyway, they're really nice shoes, but I don't really wear them anymore because I can't wear them all day. I can wear them for about 2 hours and then my feet start hurting, and so they just kind of sit in the closet. So at this point, that's not what I'm looking to do anymore. So my plan is to I sold these. They sold for right away for $130 plus shipping. I only had them listed for, I believe, like $150. You probably can get a little bit more for them, but they kind of had some minor flaws. There's like a little bit of scuffing on the leather, and there's like a couple of other small dings, but I had a list for $150. I feel like $130, I'm okay with that. You probably could have held out and maybe got like 2 for them, but at this point, it is what it is. I'm going to basically buy a pair of Dunks to replace these with, because I have a pair of Oregon Dunks. I can wear those all day. They're pretty comfortable. So that's my plan. As I sell off shoes from my own personal collection, I plan to replace them with a shoe that's a little bit more comfortable. Here's another shoe that's on the chopping block, and you're probably like, man, you tripping hard, especially if you're like a sneaker guy. This is a pair of Kobe 10 opening nights, and I've had a ton of Kobe's just over the course of the last 5 years. I actually had the same shoe in the purple colorway, and I sold those right away. I wore them for probably maybe for less than a year, and I got rid of them because these are probably some of the most uncomfortable shoes that I've probably ever owned, especially on my left foot where I had the injury at. And I've held on to these a little bit longer simply for the fact that they're sort of in the Oregon colorway, and I've been able to wear these with a lot of the stuff that's in my personal closet as far as my Oregon apparel. So that's why I've kind of held on to these. But at this point, I'm wearing these, man, probably once every 6 or 8 months. They don't really get any kind of wear at this point. So again, what's the point? So these don't go for what they used to. Obviously, right after Kobe passed away, you probably could have got an arm and a leg for these. But I think right now these are selling for right around $100 to $200 pre-owned. So once I haven't really identified what I'm going to replace these with, but once they sell, I'll kind of figure that part out. So these are a pair of Nike free running sneakers. These have been popular for a while. I think I found these at least 5 times just over the course of just the last 8 or 9 years or so reselling. They usually sell pretty decent. These had even some dings on the front of the shoes, but still sold pretty fast. Found them at the Goodwill bins, and they're really light, less than $2. They sold for $50 plus shipping. All right, so this right here is a Michigan Wolverine 2023 National Champs t-shirt. It's a small size too, and a women's small. Anyway, found this down at the Goodwill bins. I usually pick up most sports items. Usually that's basically bread and butter for me. This one didn't sell for a ton of money, but it only cost 25 cents, and I got 6 plus shipping. Alright, so I usually pick this brand up, especially if I find it down at the bins. The chino shorts, the cargo shorts, the chino pants, the cargo pants. It's called Redhead. I mean, you probably heard of it. Nothing special. But usually, if I get it in just the right kind of model and the right size, I usually can move it pretty good. These are the elastic waist stretch pants, and they're really light. Probably $1 from the Goodwill bins. Got 13 plus shipping. All right, so here are a few notable Goodwill bins finds from this week. This is just a pair of Hokas. I've been finding at least 1 or 2 pair per week. It seems like the last handful of weeks, so that always works out. These are usually what, $2 to $3, and I'm usually selling them for right around $40. I thought this one was pretty cool. I actually remember this playoff right here because I was a Rams fan at the time. I liked Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, and the greatest show on turf that they had in the early 2000s. But anyway, I think this is the year of the Music City Miracle, and also the year that they went to the Super Bowl against the Rams and lost down at the 1 yard line. But I thought it was pretty cool. Vintage, what, 25 years ago? 2001. So I think this will go to a Titans fan that can remember the glory days. And I think they got a bright future with all the players that they got, all the young players anyway. And this was probably one of I thought this was a pretty good pickup. I don't know what it actually comes for, but this is a bubblegum shrimp Honolulu. It's a denim vintage jean jacket. It has the logo here on the front, and it's an adult XL. So I think this will end up being a pretty good sale. I don't know if there's one exactly like this on eBay, but we'll see. All right, so these are just a pair of Lululemon Align joggers, and I believe I found these down at the bins. It's probably under 60 days, and they're really light, maybe 50 cents to $1. And logo right there. They sold for $20 plus shipping. All right, so these are just a pair of Nashville Predator Junior shorts. Initially, when I first moved to Tennessee, I didn't quite even know what that meant because I don't really follow hockey, and obviously I'd known about the Predators because I used to find jerseys from them up at Ross, and I think like the first maybe month or so I would always pass on any Predator stuff that had the Junior logo or whatever. But anyway, I did some research and found out that that item still moves pretty good. I've now sold jackets and t-shirts, and these are just a pair of youth shorts, so nothing major here. They probably cost 25 cents, and I got 6 plus shipping out of these. All right, so this is just a basic Lululemon camo sports bra. The logo's on the back left corner, has the straps down here. Found this down at the Goodwill bins, 25 cents, and this one sold pretty quick for $10 plus shipping.
This might be all that I know. Think it's okay. I've got a long way to grow. At my own pace. Go the long way. No one taught me how to walk, but I figured it out fine.